So, if you're a property owner in Sydney, you are on the front lines of a battle you might not even realize is happening. It's going on inside your walls, under your floors, even in your own backyard. Today, we're going to break down exactly what it takes to win that fight.
All right, let's kick things off with a pretty huge number, $516 million. What do you think that represents here in Australia? No, it's not some flashy tech company or a new mining boom. It's the value of a silent industry that's hard at work in pretty much every neighborhood, probably including yours.
So that's the big question, right? What is this secret $500 million industry? The answer is, well, it's probably not what you're thinking. This isn't just about a few bugs here and there. It's a massive economic force, all driven by some of our smallest and definitely most unwelcome neighbors. That $516 million? Yeah, that's the value of Australia's pest control market. And as the country's biggest city, Sydney is really the epicenter of this whole battle. Our amazing climate and our constant expansion, well, they make our homes and businesses the absolute perfect target. And get this isn't a problem that's just sitting still. That $500 million market is projected to rocket up to over $735 million by 2033. And it's not just that there are more pests, though, warmer weather and denser living definitely helps them out. It's also that we're all becoming way more aware of the serious risks they pose in our growing city. Okay, so who exactly are these troublemakers driving this massive industry? Let's take a minute and meet the main culprits behind all those calls to pest control experts right across Sydney. Now, you've got to understand, not all pests are created equal. Termites, they are without a doubt the single greatest financial danger to your property. Then you've got cockroaches, the most persistent, stubborn pest to get rid of. And rodents, they just cause widespread damage, getting into everything. Each one of these needs a totally different game plan. And when we're talking about termites, this is the one thing you really need to get. There's a reason they're called silent destroyers. They can literally be eating away at the structure of your home for years before you see a single sign of damage. That's exactly why catching them early is so critical. And listen, this goes way beyond just the financial damage. The health risks are really serious. Cockroaches can spread nasty diseases like salmonellosis and typhoid fever. Rodents can contaminate your food and transmit diseases like leptospirosis. This is about protecting your family's health just as much as it is about protecting your property. So what actually happens when folks underestimate these threats? Let's open up some real-world case files from right here in Sydney. They show just how devastating the consequences can be.
I mean, just look at these real-life scenarios. In Jimia, a homeowner spent $50,000 on repairs that failed, all because of termites, before the entire house had to be demolished. In Collaroy, $13,000 in structural damage. And it's not just homes. A major shopping center in the CBD had a rodent problem so bad that multiple companies couldn't get it under control. The stakes are just incredibly high.
And this right here is where the math gets really simple. A professional termite inspection, it might start from around $249. Now compare that to the cost of not doing it. Tens of thousands in repairs, or even losing your property entirely. The return on investment for prevention is it's astronomical. Now, the good news here is that the pest control industry has come a long way from just, spraying some chemicals around and hoping for the best. Let's dive into the modern, pretty sophisticated playbook that the pros use today to protect properties effectively and sustainably.
Okay, so the new gold standard in the industry is something called integrated pest management, or IPM for short. This isn't a quick one-off fix. It's a whole strategy. It's about combining a bunch of different methods to create a long-term, sustainable solution that's a whole lot smarter and often safer than those old-school approaches.
So how does this whole IPM thing actually work? Well, it's pretty smart. It's built on 4 main pillars. First up is prevention, which basically means making your property as unwelcoming to pests as possible. Next is monitoring, which is all about actively looking for trouble before it becomes a huge problem. Then comes identification, because you can't fight an enemy you don't really know. And finally, you have control, which means using a smart mix of tactics to solve that specific problem. And here's something you absolutely have to know. This is a highly regulated industry. Here in New South Wales, every single technician has to be licensed by the EPA. The fines for working without a license are massive, up to $120,000. And that regulation is there for one reason, to protect you and make sure you're getting a professional and safe service. All right, so let's bring all of this back home, to your home. How can you take all this knowledge and actually apply it to your own property? Let's talk about how you can start building your personal fortress against these invaders. And you know what the best part is? You can get started on this stuff right now. Simple little actions make a huge difference. Go around and seal up any cracks where pests could sneak in. Put in some door sweeps. Check your window screens. Make sure your drainage is good so there's no standing water around. And keep your garden and bushes trimmed back from the house. These are the simple, foundational steps of that IPM strategy we were just talking about. Okay, and for those times when you do need to call in the pros, here's your checklist to make sure you're getting a good one. First and foremost, always verify their license on the EPA's public register. It's easy to do online. Then ask for a detailed IPM plan, not just a quote for a quick spray. And finally, make sure they have full insurance and, ideally, a lot of experience with Sydney's unique pest challenges. So, we'll leave you with this one final thought. You've got locks on your doors and windows, right? You protect your home against the threats you can see. But after everything we've looked at today, the real question is, what are you doing to protect your greatest investment from the intruders that you can't?